Willis Otieno. Willis, how are you doing? Okay, before that, let's introduce him in the most proper way. All right, I love that tune. I think that's what just gets me upbeat as we start, the other side of the show. All right. So, Willis, let me bring you in. How are you doing tonight? It's been a long week. I hope you're well. Uko api, Willis, talk to us.
Betty, I'm fine and enjoying, as usual, being in Kisii, the land of many surprises and great things. Betty, how has your week been?
Well, I can't complain, Willis. So, of course, I miss my audience. Friday, Nangojanga to Friday, if you can, so I see you and also see my audience, or they see me. So, Willis, really appreciate you tonight.
I know.
Great, looking great as always, by the way. Let me get straight into it, Willis. Let's start with actually, when I was reading the news, there's one that actually I really struggled with, Willis. Do we say leisure or do you say leisure? Like there was that story about leisure and leisure. Is it leisure? I kind of struggled with that a bit, Willis.
Betty, you say leisure. Leisure. It's leisure.
Oh, okay.
Leisure.
Got it.
Just like we also talk of pleasure. Pleasure.
All right.
Leisure.
All right, Willis, got you on that. All right, let's move on to the list that I had today. Let me spell this one out. E-C-S-T-A-S-Y. How do we pronounce that, Willis?
Oh, Betty, you're talking about that feeling or state of being very happy or very excited and all that. And Betty, you talk of ecstasy. 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 That is the way you pronounce that word. Ecstasy.
Ecstasy. Got it, Willis. All right, moving on to this one that I know not many people would know how to pronounce it. D-E-I-T-Y. So is it deity? How do we go about that one, Willis?
You are talking about a god or goddess?
Yes, there you go.
Yes, but we have two ways to pronounce that word. You can say deity, deity. You can also say deity, deity or deity. Those are acceptable alternatives in standard English.
Deity. I don't think if I was to speak to people, I lose everybody. Deity. They'll be like, what are you talking about, Betty?
Betty, there is something that I want to share with you today or tonight.
Yes.
When it comes to going to school, we go to school to learn the correct way or the right things away from the wrong ones. But sometimes we can't know everything at once. So the problem in our education system, that is the education systems the world over, we lay very little emphasis on pronunciation with very little information or guidance. Now, this leaves many people guessing. Then we guess with what we commonly hear around us. So sometimes, you remember when I talked of pronunciation?
Absolutely. I'll
and
never
somebody
forget
felt, pronunciation is what we know. What are you talking about? Pronunciation, Willis, are you kidding us? Then I said, just check a dictionary and you would always realize that some things we get wrong, not because we like it, but because that is what we have been hearing around us. So here when we have this word for a god or goddess, you say deity, deity. That is the standard pronunciation. You can also say deity, deity or deity. That is the way to go if you are keen on standard English. All
right, Willis, thank you for that. I mean, I'll shock people the next time I have to use that word. Thank you for that. Always a pleasure, learning. There's this other one.
You're welcome, you're welcome.
Thank you. So there's this other one. Do we say like to be cognizant, or is it cognizant of something, like to be aware of something? Is it cognizant or cognizant? The way it is actually,
Now, Betty,
written.
that letter A in that word takes the sound E. Cognizance, cognizance, cognizance. Now, one thing that we may learn with our viewers and every other person who loves good English is the fact that in spelling, you can use a Z or you can also use an S. Cognizance is the pronunciation, but you can use a Z or an S in spelling.
Okay, got you. All right, Willis, thank you for that. Let me now hand it over to you to talk to us also about our audience and what they were able to ask you throughout the week on X.
Well, now let's go straight to one by Stephen Bai. Stephen Bai, you can say clandestine. Clandestine. You can also say clandestine. My earpiece is disturbing me a bit, so I made a small error there, but don't worry, our dear viewers, because everything is in control. Now, you can say clandestine, but you can also say clandestine. One, the stress is on the second syllable, that is clandestine. The second one, the stress is on the first syllable, that is at the onset, the beginning of that word. You say clandestine. That is also acceptable. And the other word, you say look. Look. Then we have Dixon Nyaga, enmity, not enmity. Enmity, common but wrong. You say enmity. We have an enemy. But this noun you say enmity, not enmity. And then, Betty, this reminds me about a certain word. Have you heard people talking of uncertainty? Uncertainty.
Yeah. Well, I say that, don't tell me we are wrong.
Betty, we don't have that in English. You have uncertainty or uncertainty. Niti, no. You say uncertainty or uncertainty, but not uncertainty. That one, we should avoid it in standard English. Then we have plump and whopping for Dixon Nyaga. Braylon Prince, Betty and Sam Omwenga, a wonderful collection, but the fewer the better. Individual, individual, challenge, adolescent, ousted, scarce, not scarce, scarce, scarcity. If you are getting them right, the better. Eddie Otonto of Nakuru, you say donkey, donkey, not donkey. Betty, many people think when they say donkey, it sounds unique or stylish, but we don't pronounce that word like that. It's simply donkey, not donkey. Then we have Solomon Joroge of Nairobi. You say calm, calm, not calm. Calm, that L is silent, so you say calm, not calm. Ruth M. Kalando, stadium, stadium, not stadium. Avoid saying stadium, dear viewers, and avoid saying stadium, and avoid saying stadium in English. Just say stadium. Clinton Oloch of Kisii University, you can say aesthetic, aesthetic, but you can also pronounce the same word as aesthetic. Norman Torre Poror, subtle, obvious, environment, and government. Lastly, Helen at H. Mutune, you say bourgeoisie. A very tricky word, bourgeoisie. Otherwise, Betty, it's now time for our viewers to also try their tongues with this word. Now, this word, Betty, the problem with it is many people even start with apprentice, but we don't have apprentice. We have apprentice or apprentice. Tis, not ties. Then when you come now to this one, it's tricky because some would want to say apprenticeship. Then the mouth and the tongue would misbehave a bit. They will not go by what you want. So we have something called assimilation. In this case, after saying T, you just go straight to ship. Apprenticeship. Apprenticeship. Don't say apprenticeship. That one, you'll have a problem. So dear viewers, we use this sometimes even there or right where you are watching TV 47. Just try your tongue with this or try it out with your friends, children, parents, or any other person, because learning never ends for any person in this world. And none of us can be perfect. Now, let's get to a word which I know many people will say, Willis, are you kidding us? Now, Betty, locally we have languages which words are pronounced the way they are spelled, but this word is not pronounced the way it is spelled. When we talk about the Garden of Eden, locally many people say Garden of Eden. Do you agree with me, Betty?
Yes, I've heard that. I've actually
Eden.
heard that. Yeah.
Eden. But we should
Eden.
avoid Eden. As a name, you say E. You begin with E, the long sound E. Eden. Eden, the Garden of Eden or Eden. You can say Eden. If that consonant cluster is a problem, somebody can just say Eden, but not Eden that we always say very, very confidently locally when we don't know which is which. But somebody can get which is which only on TV 47. Otherwise, for those who are sending in words throughout the week, just use at Willis Otieno 1 on X. At Willis Otieno 1. You can also send in any word that is English at Betty M. Kialo at TV 47 News. And Friday night, don't miss the wonder of learning. Otherwise, it's now time that I have to take you back to Nairobi for more with Betty and the wonderful guest.
Well, thank you so much. Of course, Willis, you know, the shock, everything, every aspect of which is always fantastic. We appreciate. Now, my first uko X, I normally see the interaction. Everybody, it's a classroom. Man, you should send them an invoice, Willis. Thank you for the good work. That's God's work, teaching people how to talk better.
You're welcome, Betty. Anytime.
Yeah, appreciate you. Willis Otieno, of course, joining us live and direct from Kisii County. And if you want any words, you know, to know the pronunciation of any word, talk to him on X at Willis Otieno 1, like he said, and he's going to help you. He's normally just, you know, just waiting. Thank you, Willis, for that. All right, so you know what? I know you've been waiting for this interview. I have been waiting for this interview too, this chat with Steve, Simple Boy, and his lovely wife, Brenda. Let's get straight to it.